was actually go live yet. So it should be live now. It says preparing your meeting for Facebook Live. So it's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. All right, it should be live now. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello there, Lois. Good morning, Monday morning.
Good morning, Jenice. Good morning, Facebook.
Good morning, Facebook. So we
Monday.
just, yes, happy Monday, the start of a fresh new week. Just a few more weeks before Christmas holidays.
Yeah,
so we're getting together on Mondays just to kind of talk about some things that we've been kind of mulling around in our minds, just thinking about. And so each Monday, we want to just start off the week with some thought that has crossed our mind, that if we just kind of want to get some feedback, or we just want to talk with each other, Lois and I, amongst us, and share it with you, what's been going on in our minds. And so today, we're calling that Monday Musings. So it's going to be every Monday. And today I just wanted to talk about, collaboration and your thoughts on collaboration. Lois, what do you think in terms of collaboration? Have any, what are you thinking about?
Well, I was thinking about just, sorry. The collaboration between you and I, and in general collaborations, a lot of people don't like collaborations because it means they have to talk to somebody else, rely on somebody else, have someone else contribute to their work. And in general, some of us, me included, can be independent in certain ways. I've realized lately that because of my diagnosis, and having had people take care of me for such a long time, I have this feeling that I want to control things. Even though the idea of control is really, it's an illusion. You don't have control of your life, even if you think you have control of your life. And so there's this idea that, if I could just control my own destiny, like if I could just control this piece of the pie. But collaboration is really cool because you get to have more, you get to do more. One person can only do so much, but two or three, they get more reward for their work, which is really cool.
I agree with you there. I am also an independent, fiercely so sometimes, but I do like collaboration and I do like team efforts as well, only because I do believe that people bring different things to the table in terms of strengths. And I think that can only make the team or a collaboration stronger, because maybe that other person or the other members are bringing something to the table that you not necessarily are bringing to the table. So in terms of whatever strengths, it could be anything. It could be intellectual, it could be whatever strengths, it could be physical strengths, it could be any kind of strength that you bring or expertise that you bring to the table that the other person doesn't necessarily have, that you can now complement each other, and the team members can complement each other. But not only complement, I really believe it strengthens the team. And so what needs to happen, I think, is the team members need to be open to something that's probably not always their idea, or maybe open to the fact that, I'm not so strong in that area and you are, so what do you think? And just basically collaborate and share ideas, almost like a think tank. The greatest ideas and the greatest inventions come from some of these really huge think tanks where people with different strengths and expertise come together to hash out an idea. And the ideas that come from that can be wow, just so powerful based on what was brought to the table from all those individuals that are in that think tank versus this is my idea, I'm going to run with this idea and I'm going to see if I can bring it to fruition. Whereas you've got now the input and the power of other minds, like minds, different minds, individual minds coming together to make something happen. And I just think there's just such power in numbers. So I like both. I like the team approach, but I also like the independent approach because sometimes when you're independent as well, you can be more focused, because you just kind of know what you have to do. You're responsible for getting that done. You get it done. And so now you don't have to worry about having to find out if the other person has brought their piece together or done their piece. You've done your piece, you've done it, and you're now on to the next thing. So I can kind of see the pros and cons of both, but I do like a team approach because I think there's power in numbers. So collaboration, I think, is something that a lot of us don't like, but I think many of us do for that very reason.
There's definitely time for both.
Yeah.
And probably a season for both, depending on where you are and what you're doing. And, for example, with you and I, it's been so pivotal for me to have someone like you in my life, just as a motivator and, these little technical things that I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And then to be able to help you with certain little writing things, we're able to do this back and forth kind of dance. That's really helpful. There's so many ways to run, and I think if that's not how you need to be running the best, maybe that's not where you need to be, so yeah, there's so many options.
I also like the fact that you can get a fresh perspective on something that you've been thinking about, that you may have an idea about and feel strongly about, but then getting a fresh perspective on it can kind of let you see it in a different way. So I like that too, that maybe you hadn't thought about something in that particular way. And then that fresh perspective on that same thing kind of opens up your mind to other possibilities and other ways of getting it done. And you're kind of like, okay, so let's get the best of both of these ideas and let's see what we can come up with next with that. So different perspectives can actually add to the mix. And I think it can add in a positive way. So that's just something we've been thinking about this week in terms of collaboration and the pros and the cons of that, and whether or not you should be doing the same kinds of things in your own life, collaborating and coming to some kind of a consensus on getting things done. Sometimes we just need to open up our minds a little bit and open up our hearts a little bit to accept different perspectives and different ideas. And it could be a good thing, I think.
There's this idea, I think in America specifically, that it's a strength to be independent. Sometimes we really need to realize how much of a strength it is to be able to listen to other people and really step back and be willing to be a second, and just honor the learning process.
Yeah. Do you think it has anything to do with people wanting to be in control or liking that control and not really as eager to give up that control? Why a lot of people don't like collaborations? You think that might have anything to do with it?
Well, who doesn't like control?
Right.
My kids want the remote, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
um, I think we all like control or the thought of it, even though at any point we could lose whatever that is.
Uh-huh.
Um, but there's so much that is out of our seeming control. We could get sick at any moment. We could
Mm,
really die at any moment. There's so much that is really not in our control,
right.
and we just think that we have it. And um, I think that's one of the gifts that having a condition like I have has given me, um, is to realize I don't have any control, and I still grasp for it because I'm human, and that's what it is to be human.
Yes, it is.
Um,
But go ahead, you saying. I was just looking at some of the conversation that's coming in on the Facebook Live, and it's saying, "Hey, both of you, good morning." At Summit saying good morning, and Carla's on, who's watching us, a very good friend of mine, who's watching us and saying good morning. And so we're just coming on this morning, just kind of talking about collaboration between people and teams, and a co-collaborator, and the pros and cons of that, and whether it's a good thing that we do that, or whether it's something that we just need to consider being independent all the time, but maybe not necessarily so. And some of the things that are positive about working in a team or working with someone who brings some different strengths to the table, and different perspectives to the table and to the mix. So we just wanted to make sure that we kind of share some of those ideas. And each Monday, we're going to be coming on around this time to talk about some thoughts or some things that we've been musing and thinking about during the week, and that we've just been discussing amongst ourselves that we wanted to share with you guys. So we thought this would be a good way to do that on a Monday, and just talk about some of the things we're musing and thinking about. All right.
yeah, and if there are things that you guys would like to know about or hear about, would love to hear what those are. Let us know in the comments, and um, ask the questions, because that's how we get to know you and get to know what you're really thinking about. So
Yeah,
pop those in.
absolutely. Absolutely. Any ideas that you have, any questions that you have for either one of us, feel free to put them in the comments, and we'll be sure to answer those. If we don't get to them on the day, we can actually get to them the very next week with a follow-up of the questions that we don't actually see or don't get to. But definitely, we want this to be an open door and an open conversation with our audience, so that they can kind of engage with us and we can engage with you, and ideas and things that you might want us to touch on that we haven't probably thought about. We've got a whole long list of things that we would like to talk about, but there are some things that maybe concern you, our audience, that you'd like us to touch on and bring to the surface as well. So feel free to do that and drop those suggestions in the comments, and we'll be sure to kind of touch on those at some point. All right. So Lois, you think that's all we wanted to bring to them today for this morning, for Monday morning, because I know they've got a busy week ahead. This is a new week. We just had a very good weekend. It's a new week, a fresh week, an opportunity to do better than we did last week, and to kind of start this off this week with some fresh ideas, fresh perspectives, and to get some things accomplished before the holidays are upon us, which they are fast approaching. Fast
Yep.
approaching.
Yeah, we just wanted to ask you all to think about how you're collaborating in your life with the people that you live with and work with, and are interacting with on a daily basis, and how that's affecting your life, and um, how you dream that to be, and how that's affecting you. So yeah, just ask that question.
Yeah.
Are you collaborating? How is that affecting you?
And sometimes, it's not a bad thing to just reach out and ask for help sometimes, when you don't have the answers to certain things that you're thinking about. Somebody else may have the answer. It's just that sometimes we don't always want to ask, or we feel that we're lacking because we don't ask, or that we don't have that particular thing that we have the answer to. But just know that we're human. Just know that we're all bringing whatever we bring, and it could be different on many levels. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for an answer for a question that you may have, and don't be afraid to give us some questions as well that you may have, and any suggestions that you may have as well. So we're open. We're very open. We're all learning and we're all growing together. So we just wanted to kind of say good morning again. Have a great week. It is, a couple weeks before Christmas, so enjoy, and have an awesome, awesome week. It's good to talk to you again this morning, Lois.
You too, Jess. Bye,
All right,
everyone.
have a good day. Bye, everybody.